Hi, this is Kim Pinkney, and welcome to my channel. Alrighty, today I wanted to do at least the beginning of a new picture, and I'll see how it figures out. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do. I know I was inspired by the movie The Bodyguard with Whitney Houston, so let me get myself together. I usually start off with my soft brush, and I was searching this morning for some images of Whitney that I thought would look kind of like a diva. So I found a couple pictures that I liked, and I found one that definitely would embody like the diva that I'm looking for. You know, a little tough, maybe a little vulnerable around the eyes, maybe not. So let me go ahead and get her going. Let's start with what I kind of envisioned the pose to be. So I got her head here. Of course, it'll be much bigger. And then I kind of want to have a parasol, but a big parasol. So almost as if she is the bodyguard this time around. And I want it to be kind of inspired by a neo-Asian cyberpunk feel. It's going to be more of a portrait than a full body, I'm thinking. So she would be like this, and I think I'll have her kind of like this with the part of it right here. Got her shoulders here. At first I was going to pose her with the samurai sword because in the movie she was messing around with a samurai sword, and only to find out that the thing was wicked sharp. So and I thought the idea of a diva with a sword would be pretty awesome. I'm thinking I want to turn the parasol a bit, and then maybe kind of have her in the rain a bit. I'm gonna see if I can change the umbrella more to, I'm trying to think, so that we can see kind of like the back of it. Okay, so it'll be kind of like that. Let me erase a little bit here. Make that a little bigger. I didn't give myself much time because I had an idea and then it just wasn't panning out. And let's see, I think some of this will have to, let's see, I'll have to move a lot of stuff up and down. Let's see if I do it the way I want to do it here. So I pretty much was going to use today to pretty much get her likeness, and if I'm lucky, get some color in there as well. Let's see, this is still not high enough, but that's okay. It's kind of what I'm looking for. This has got to be like center. Oh, duh, Kim, use your tools. Let's see, I'm gonna erase a little bit more. And then on another layer, let's see, she's got a thin neck. So let me bring this back down. Or she had a thin neck. I'd like to kind of use divas past and present in this kind of little series. I almost started doing this one picture of Deadpool, and I wanted him to be holding like, well, I decided I was going to like not do that just yet. Let me see, I'm gonna put this behind her and get a circle going. Yes. Okay, we'll edit the shape. Will it let me come out of it? I'm trying to decide how big I want this beast to be. That's not a bad. I just want just enough. Okay, I think that's good. All right, and that'll be on that layer. Let's see, and then on this layer, it's got to be above that because it's overlapping. Oops, I'm trying to erase a little bit. Okay, I'm almost ready. All right. Okay, so this will be like the stem going over her shoulder. It's kind of cockeyed. I might even move this stick a little bit more, so let me just go ahead and get rid of it right now. Get you bigger. Without taking everything out. Now, I was even thinking about putting her in like some samurai outfit type of thing and just trying to make it like moderately futuristic. And then, you know, there's so many pictures of Whitney of different ages, different times, where she's got the young and inspired and just so fresh-faced, and then she's got, you know, I've been through some stuff, I've seen some stuff, Whitney, and, you know, heartache Whitney, and then just recovery Whitney, you know, and, you know, like, I want to say, before Bobby, after Bobby, Brittany type of thing. Okay, am I on? I was going to work on a different layer. Let me get those eyes out of there. Not on this layer. Okay, there we go. We'll put it on this layer. And we'll let this one be kind of like a little opaque. Just a hint of what I want there. Okay. All right. So now, boom, boom, boom. And again, I'm on the wrong layer. There we go. There we go. Now this Whitney is more like the Saving All My Love Whitney. But she looks kind of, you know, you cheated on me, you know, type of, you know, I ain't gonna take no crap no more, Whitney. Let's try to get the shape of her eyes down. And I'm working from a black and white image, but I definitely want to add color to this. All right, throw some lower lashes in. She's got some intense makeup here. So I think I want to kind of give her just a bit of the geisha makeup where it's like red and things like that. And I want to take like the beaded wig that she had from the Bodyguard and just kind of make that into maybe like a geisha hairstyle, geisha-inspired hairstyle. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna put like, or how I envision it with that kind of stuff in it. Her eyebrows are a little pointed. Another thing to add to her, I ain't taking no crap from nobody. Mystique. Her nostrils are a little flared. And her eyes are just a little bigger than they actually are. Or were. Let's see, her hairline is about like right here. It was hard to find a picture of her not cheesing it up. Like her mouth is closed in this picture, and she's got the "I am not amused" look about her right now. The queen is not amused. But when she smiles, her whole face like lights up, and her mouth is like, if you've ever seen like early Julia Roberts pictures, I mean, huge, huge mouth. It's like it suck you right on in and, you know, bite your head off. Huge, big smile. But today the queen is not amused. I'm in the rain and I am not happy. More like a bitch better pay me type look for my services. Okay, let's see. I'm here to save your arse. She's got sharp cheekbones, narrow face. I wish I could capture her music. And some of the pictures that I saw, her mouth was like, you know, she's singing and she's smiling and, you know, entertaining. And it's almost like you could hear the music through that picture. I'm going to make her eyes just a little smaller and close them up a bit. And I'm closing them up with like more makeup. Make that a little smaller. But it's interesting to see, you know, to follow the life of Whitney Houston. She was just freaking amazing. Her voice was just a force to be reckoned with. And there's sometimes when I listen to her songs and they just give me chills because they're just so intense, so intensely beautiful. Let's soften up my brush a bit. Now this is all so far with the soft brush. The soft brush is very, very versatile. You can do hard lines to soft lines, and it reminds me the most of a pencil. I'm going to take down some of the opacity here, so every time I tap it, it leaves a hint of shadow. Soften that up a bit and bring that down, the opacity down a bit. She almost looks like Rihanna in this picture, almost. Yeah, I kind of want to have her as the Whitney that has been hurt before and is no longer vulnerable. You know, like at the end of the Bodyguard, or actually at the beginning of it, she kind of had her defenses up. You know, oh, you know, somebody's trying to kill me, and has this tough persona. And she lets her guard down for this guy, falls for him, and then it's like, well, I gotta go to the next job. You're good. And I want her to have become stronger from the experience, not pining after him. You know, maybe she might let him back in, maybe they become enemies, or maybe just unresolved. But you know, you can't make somebody settle down. You can't get everything you want. But if you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need. And so what she needed was to be able to be strong in her own right, is what I'm kind of figuring. So like if I was creating the Bodyguard too, right now I'm using the smudge brush to kind of soften up my lines even more. Because, you know, the human body doesn't have like hardcore lines on it. And we'll throw some color on here. And I like how the smudge brush will extend my shadows. It'll just extend it without me having to have a brush on it. But it's also it also blends and smudges colors into each other to give me my gradients that I need. Okay, so one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to create another layer, put it beneath, and then try to figure out what her skin tone is, because right now she is black and white. So I'm thinking I'm going to do some shades of blue. Let me see if I can find a good Whitney Houston coloring where she's H-I-T Whitney. There we are. Because one of the things you got to watch out for is when you're using source images, the lighting. It changes the skin tone of people, the makeup of people changes, and I'm going to get the Whitney who's more truer to life, where she's got darker skin. Let's see. So, but one of the things I've noticed that when I do dark-skinned people, there's a base of like a peach tone that's on some. So it's more, it helps lend more towards that warmer tone. So here we go. I'm gonna use this color. And I'll just go ahead and fill that in. There we go. And then I'll tap it in with some like a reddish brown. We'll bring this into the reds. Okay, and then I'm going to soften my brush a bit and just try to get some of that reddish tone in there from her cheeks. So I'm going to have a combination of warmth, like part of her is warm, and then because she's going to be kind of like in the dark waiting for her client, or waiting for somebody to attack, one or the other. I haven't decided yet. This is not a bad image of her. Yeah. It'll, she'll be ready for whatever. You know, so I'm going to make the lighter parts of her warm with reds and yellows and all those things that you'll find in the sun. And then the parts of her that are cooler, the shadows, we'll see if we can take a blue and we'll use that as the shadows. So like on this side of her, and that'll add like let's see, I think I want it even brighter blue just to really make it stand out. And let's see, do I want it a blue black? Let's see, I like this color. And then where she has her highlights, which almost comes white but not quite, let's see, this will have that and about like right there. Make it a little harder. Get back to my source image. I'm gonna grab this picture because she's got the color tones. Copy image. And I'll put that right next to my sour Whitney, I guess you could call her. She's smiling in the picture that I've got the color from. Okay, but it's not like bleaching out her skin and stuff like with the hard intense lights. So I'm going to add some of the highlights here, and I'm putting them on the same layer right now because I'm going to end up blending these colors together just a bit. I'm still using the soft brush, and I'm manipulating the opacity of the brush. So like if I don't want it to be super hot white, I'm just going to have it down a little lower, and it's just a softer white. And to build up that white, I just keep tapping it to get more of that highlight color. You know, one tap will be like light. Let's see, so she's got like a little bit of a highlight right here. And the more I tap it, the whiter it'll get. Or I can save some time and just move my brush up a little bit, bring the brush size down and control it a little bit better. Let me go back a little bit. Now, I'm probably going to give her a little bit of a skin texture, simply because she's outside and it's probably cold. So I kind of want to see her pores a bit, even though she's not going to be like really super close up. Let's see. And I think instead of just having brown eyes, I think I want to have like a brownish red. Like, I want to kind of cyber her up a little bit. So I'm going to add let's see, and I'll fill this with black or deep dark brown first. Oh, come on. Oh, yeah, that's right. Drag from here, Kimberly. There we go. Okay. Let me bring this back down. Now I'm going to get black for her pupils. You can barely see that. Ooh, I hate when I do that. There we go. And I'm extending some of that dark color around the eye here. Make that a little darker, just around the out edges here. And then I'm going to put a little bit of red in her eye down below here. Oops, I forgot to switch it over to the red. There we go. Yeah, she is not amused. And then we'll get a little bit of a white glint in her eye as well. Make that a little bit brighter. And if it doesn't get bright for you the first time around, go ahead and create another layer and then work on that. Let me move this up, because it could be that this has cast a shadow of some sort. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is give her eyes a bit of the white in her eyes, but instead of it being white, it'll be like, we'll give it the blue tone and like a gray. Let's see. Ready? And then I'll put that, and you can always merge this layer back down. I try to squeeze, and I sometimes don't grab it, so I'm like, pooey. Let's see, so we got that going on. They're merged together. Let's see, I could do more work inside the eye, but I think what I want to do is create another layer and select. Actually, let me try something else. I'm going to do it like this. Doesn't have to really be perfect. Yeah, okay. And then I'm going to use a little bit of the blue here, just around this area here, because when your eyes are kind of hooded over your just a bit here, and then we'll soften it up a bit and just kind of bring it down. And so she's getting a little bit of a glint of you'll be able to see a glint of the white in her eyes, just a bit. But it's not going to be perfectly white. Let's see, bring that down a bit so I can control it better, and we'll get rid of that. And it also makes the eye look a little wet, so you have like the gray and then you have the white. Oh, okay, it's 7 o'clock. All right. I got a few minutes. And I don't mind if I get a little bit of a reflection inside the pupil. Put a little bit more white in there. I know I'm going to go back over it. And we'll throw some more, we'll put another gray in there. And then just try to soften it a bit and bring that down. And smudge, smudge, smudge. Right. Okay, so about like right here. Let's see, I'm going to merge you guys together. I'm going to add like a brown tone, but I think I want it, let me try blue. Maybe that blue. And just to try to give her some contours for her nose and this side of her face. Now I want the blue to be a little bit more pronounced, so let me get out of this, and I'm going to create another layer right on top of that. And let's see, just to add a little bit more drama to it. Let's see, well, I love this blue. Okay. Now usually it does, the face doesn't reflect like this, unless it's a bruise. And I'm going to kind of use the gray and whatnot to make her a little harsher than she looks, because I want to give her this really tough look about her. But I don't want her to look like she's just been out of a fight. Or maybe like Kevin Costner, she just came from a battle or something like that. Why not? Yeah, I just solved this crime. Was your sister? Oh, sorry if you haven't seen the movie. Let's see. It was the cat. The cat did it. Never trust a feline. Never trust a big butt and a smile. I might even get away from this. She does look like she's just been in a fight. Not a big fan of blue being the, or purples being like shadows. So why you doing it, woman? Just want to give it a mood, I think. I think that's what it is. I'm coming over it with brown. So really just like deepen this mess up. I might just avoid it because I don't want her to look like a tough guy. It's like, okay, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of both of them, so you can fill in the blank. Wrote a song about it. Want to hear it? Here go. I'm here to kick ass. I do it all the time. Oh yeah. Let's see. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm dating myself. Okay, so I'm going to use a little bit of this lighter tone here, just to give her a little bit of a highlight on her noose. Let's see, we'll use this right quick. There we go. Just soften it up a bit. You know, I wouldn't mind trying to use a little bit of, like a little bit of cyborgish type stuff too on her face. I really want it to look hard, but yeah, this looks like a bruise. I think I overdid it on the blue. It should have been a gentle, kind, soft blue to give you atmosphere. Right here she looks like I'm about to kill you because I'm almost dead. Let's see, let's try something here. I'm going to spread this blue around. Put it up here. Should have put it on its own layer. Maybe it is on its own layer. Maybe it's not. Let's see. Let's see, what layer are we on? Oh good, it is on another layer, thank God. So if I monkey this up really bad, I can just make it disappear. No looking, never happened. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is just trying to diffuse this blue just a bit. Let me put a little bit of red lipstick on her. Let me put that on another layer. Let's see. Select. We'll give it like a light, come on, red. Okay, and then we'll start to add the highlights and stuff like that on there. Whoops, too soft. And then we'll throw some shadows. We'll use a little bit of the blue. Let's do some green just for giggles. And we'll use the green for her shadows on her lips. And some of it. And we'll smudge some of that in. Oops, too much. Bring that down. Let's smudged away. Okay, we'll throw more white on there. We've got lots of little areas here. We'll throw some more. We'll give it a darker red here. You come here. Tease some of that upwards with a smudge brush here. Don't want to lose all our highlights. Whatever you want from me. I'm your diva tonight. We're going to soften it up a bit, and we'll spread a little bit more highlights here, and then we'll even give it a little pink to it. So give it a little variance. Oops, too much. Go B, gotta go home. Now it's kind of hard because her lips are in shadow, or rather they're black and white, so I'm kind of just working with tones here. Okay, so I'm taking some of these tones here, I'm just going to work them upwards. Then we'll even throw in a little bit more red in some spots, but we'll make it, we'll make this one a deeper, darker red since it's even further over here. We want to make our lips look like they're curling a bit. Then we'll soften this, and then we'll just bring this down because this is casting a bit of a shadow here. Let's see, and we'll give it a little bit of a lighter red up in here. Oops, let's bring that down. Maybe an orange. Let's see. And then we'll soften that. More red, more red. And we'll put that, we'll keep the deepest, darkest reds here near the bottom. Because you still want to keep that aspect where the closer you get to the light, the color is like brighter. There we go. Let's see. So like this is light, but there's going to be a corresponding dark. So we'll make that corresponding dark right here. And the further you get from that light, you get into darkness, and then it starts to light up again because it's reflecting off of something else, another surface, most of the time. Same thing here, you hit some light, you start to come around, it starts to get darker, and then it'll lighten up a bit. But then you've got like folds and stuff like that to play with too. We'll define her mouth just a bit in the corners. And just kind of soften it just a bit. And let's see, we'll do a little bit right here. And we'll even change the color. We'll make it a little cooler on this side because it is closer to the dark. But there should be a corresponding highlight somewhere nearby. Because you've got the light and then you got the dark. They're always opposite each other. Unless you're wearing leather and then it's like it's all over the place. Nah, it should still, the same thing should still apply. So I'm just going to smudge some of these colors into each other in like a little circular fashion here. And I've decreased the size of my brush so I can get a little bit more in there. Alright, so I'm gonna also use this shadow here to give it more of a contrast between the warm and the cool. I'm gonna throw it in a couple other places too. And then maybe tease a little bit of the dark red into it. There we go. So we got like a little combination of the cool and the warm going for it. Kind of fighting each other. I fight for dominance. I fight for love. Okay, so we got our highlight. I want to make that nice and hard. Light is really hitting this bad boy. And then maybe just a little spot there. Maybe it'll catch a little bit of light in some of these other places too. All right. Let's see. We'll take the selection off. All right. Now I'm going to define her eyes just a... Ooh, okay. I have just a little bit of time left. I'm going to put that on another layer. Let's see. I'm going to merge this one down. Bring you down. Here. There we go. So now it's permanent. And then I can also drag some of that into her skin and stuff like that. If I feel froggy. Let's see. Now, since this beast here, I think we might be better off without it. Or, let me see if I can diffuse it a bit. Make it a little bit less in your face. There we go. Just softer. It's a softer blue. Okay. And then we'll continue. Brush. Get off of that. And then we'll bring. We'll bring it down some. Let's see, we'll soften that up. I think this is part of this right here. Yeah. I'm debating whether or not to bring that down, but let's see. I'll leave it alone for now. Okay. All right. I'm going to smudge the diva eyes just a bit here, but I need to also define them just a smidge too. So I think to define them, I'm going to use a harder brush just for giggles. Bring it down some, just so that we have a little bit more definition in our eyes. It's not just like fuzzy pools of whatnot here. layer am I on? Okay, I'm on this layer. I'm going to create one more layer, and I'm going to play with the hairbrush. This is brushes that came with the program. Short hair is more like for fur, and just for giggles, I want to see what it does for her eyebrows. That's not too bad. I'm like midway here on the tool, the brush tool. If you're too high up, it becomes a little bit harder to control. But this one works pretty well. It's really good for fur. Oh, and hair too, yeah. It just helps you to fill it in a lot faster, a lot fuller. And then if you want to trim it, you can also use that, but also pick the brush. Like, that's fine hair, but I want the other one. Short hair. And it'll trim it the same way that you created it, kind of, sort of. Let's see, I think I've softened up her brow just a bit, because before it was kind of arched. So let's arch it back up again. Give it that Mr. Spock arch. And then we'll trim it down. We'll bring that down a bit. And it shows a little bit of the skin underneath, so I'm gonna take that out. Okay, so harder brush. Let's see, we are going to use favorite outliner. It's just I think this is the same as the studio pen, and I just messed with the settings. When I do eyelashes, I try to get it from the bottom, and I'm making like this type of shape, and I'm doing this if I'm doing it all going around the eye. Let's see, you don't want to just, let me see, you don't want to just do like that. You want to get that curve, because when your eyelid is like this, the only time that I use like really hardcore straight lines like that is when I'm doing people with Asian eyes, and they have the people with the hooded eyes, and I'd go straight down like this. And maybe give it a bit of a curve. It's still on the, get rid of that, the other brush. That's why it's so hard to erase. Okay. So what I can do is come back to this and erase the eyebrows that were there. That way I can really clean it up. And just kind of soften up some of the eye makeup there. And then, and I could probably take off, no, I think I'll leave that because it doesn't look bad. Okay, so I think I want to also smudge this like she's got eyeliner on her. And then come back with the harder brush on the hair layer. Favorite outliner. And I think the only things I'd done to this brush was made it more, what's the word? I forget what it's considered. Oh crap, it's almost time to go. I have to look at the brush thing. Streamline. Boo! The streamline. I just increased the streamline on this one and it just makes the lines a little bit more, I think to me, more manageable. I don't have the steadiest of paws, and I like to rest my hand on my artwork, which is bad too. It's a bad habit to have, but I got heavy hands. You know, heavy hands, nice heart, I don't know. Breaking up the little red inside of her eyes a bit, kind of messing it, you know, blending it with the cones, the rods and the cones. Okay, and if I want, I can just add a little bit more definition to the eyebrows too. And that makes them stand out more when it's at a distance. Okay, so we got a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and then the nose, I kind of wanted to, and I think that's gonna, it's gonna be something that we need to do to get her likeness going, or increase her likeness. I'm trying to spread out the shadow so that it's back up towards the eyebrow. And then I'm bringing it down, the shadow from the nose towards the eye, which spreads a bit down this way. It will throw a little bit of a highlight on this eye, but I'm trying to decide what color. Let's see, she usually uses like a flesh tone. Let me see what, I think geishas use like red. So we'll throw a little bit of red on there. Let me see. I think I have a picture of a geisha. We'll use a little bit of that makeup too. Oh, lovely. Okay, this one has the red around the edges here. Put that down. And we'll put it on this layer, but right above. And we'll soften up this with a soft brush. That way it spreads more. And she uses a little bit of white here. But I'm thinking it might be more of a flesh tone. We'll blend these guys together, make them a little softer, throw a little gradient of pink to it. We'll throw more red. More red! More red! And then a little bit more white, so I have something to play with. And then just kind of blend them together. Bring a little bit this way. Now there is a black line, and I'm going to use the harder brush for this. Let's see, let's try the studio pen. Just and it just extends out the eye just a bit. Okay. Alrighty, and then the hint of red again on the cheekbones. Let's see, make sure that's the soft brush. Give it that 80s look. More red. Let's see. Make it nice and diffuse there. A little much. Let me back it up. Bring that down just a smidge. And we'll just kind of blend it upwards. Okay. Alright, so now it's just softening up this right here. Crap, it's time to go. Okay, so this is as far as I've gotten with my Whitney diva look. She's going to be having a, let's see, she's going to be having a parasol of sorts on behind her, maybe a bigger umbrella. I'm going to give her, maybe at least give her some hair. Let's see. We'll use the fine hairbrush for the moment. Or actually, I want her to look more ethnic. Ooh, I don't think I've ever seen her as a redhead. Let's see, I kind of like it. So like this, and it comes around. And it just gives her texture. I was going to put the braids in here. Let's see, and this will come around her here. I don't know. I think black would be nicer. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a little bit more futuristic. Madame Butterfly. Oh yeah, that would be beautiful. Let's see. The red diva. And we'll give it a little bit of deeper, darker red here. Tease it upwards. Where it turns, where it bends, we're going to go ahead and throw some white here. And then I'll make that highlight harder. And eventually smudge it in. And come back with that oil pastel brush. Now I like using both the oil pastel brush for more ethnic hair, you know, to give it more of a kinky look. And I also like using the hair brush. I'm gonna make this like really thick. It's just a thought. This is just a thought, because I might use the, I was thinking about doing braids instead of loose hair. And then, let's see, my favorite brush for hair is this fine hairbrush. Make that a little bigger. Give her the baby hairs, I guess. Let's see. And just kind of have some of that kinkiness here. Oh, I hate that alarm. Holy crap. Makes me jump every time. Sorry about that. If this is jarring for you as it is for me, even more so for me. Okay. All right. So we got a combination of straight and kinky going on, and I just kind of layer them both in together with each other and just smudge it either with a regular smudge brush or a, you know, one of the other brushes. But for now I'm just using the soft brush to smudge, and that'll give us like a base, and then we can go over it again. Hair is a layering process, or at least for me it is. So that's the start, and then I'll probably put like little combs or something like that into it as well. Get off of that. will have some of it being pulled really super tight to make it straight. And see if I can bring back the oil pastel brush. And then, oops, use that for the red. And I'll make that a little bit lighter, so it just kind of gives it a little bit of a texture on top of what we've already got. Just a gentle texture. I don't know, but for this angle, I'm not sure if it works. I think what I'll probably end up doing is either doing dreadlocks or braids or something like that. But to show you guys where, for those who can't stand long ass videos, here's a quick replay of how I got to where I am. And I will see you guys on the morrow. And if the winds of fate bring me back to this particular portrait, cool. If not, well, oh pooey. And I'll just speed it up just a bit. And there we are, working on our little Madam Butterfly. I'm wondering, just gives me different ideas, but I think I'll switch that red to a blue purplish color. I think that would be a really pretty and a great contrast to the red. So much red. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. You guys, thanks again for popping in, saying hi, and I will see you on the morrow. Bye-bye.